Good afternoon, everyone. This is Henry, and as we get into tonight's video newsletter, there are a few ways to approach this, but I wanted to start by giving you a chart and a trade idea. If you're just trading the equity, that's one thing. You look at where do you buy the spiders and where do you sell them. But if you're trading derivatives, or like we spend the majority of our time doing, trading the options, there's a lot of other considerations that you can make as far as strategy is concerned. And right now I think we've got a good time to talk about one of them, that is through the use of a standard call side butterfly. Now, getting into this conversation assumes a few things, right? And of course, if you want to take the other side of it or whatever, by all means feel free to. But if we're going to agree that a rising 5 EMA, a market that has a daily squeeze that's just now moving into the standard formation of that signal, and is also just this stone's throw from the previous lifetime highs, and not lifetime highs that were made just the other day. These are lifetime highs that were made about a month and a half ago, and I think that's very helpful in exceeding them, right? Because if you make the new high and then the next day, like this one kind of where you double top, that's a slightly more precarious situation. But when you have the previous high that was made some time ago, right, I just think we look a little bit better to finally push on up through it. So if we agree on all of those metrics, we can then start to look at a really interesting confluence of a Fibonacci extension, which is just a measurement from swing high to swing low, and this being 127% of that move. It's just a proportion that shows up in the markets, and it's a way of being positioned ahead of time, then ideally selling to people or exiting our butterfly position as we move into that as a target. So the trade that I wanted to put out there, or at least offer for your consideration, is a $10 wide SPY butterfly. You can find an equivalent through SPX. There's lots of other ways of playing the 500 names, but SPY is generally more affordable, and this is what I'm looking at right here. So we place the body at 700, $10 of width on each wing, and then you exit the position when the body is tested, right? So we don't have to hold this all the way in, the hopes of getting max profit, but what we hold it into, and I don't necessarily even have a monetary goal, right? Because we don't know exactly what the butterfly will be worth, because that depends entirely upon when that target is hit. But if you can say, I'm going to risk the 220, 250, kind of where it's trading for, we'll see how tomorrow opens. But, pick some of those up on Wednesday, maybe add to it on Friday, and then if Monday and Tuesday are big down days, you tolerate those pullbacks, right? You allow for backing and filling, saying my risk is what I pay for the butterfly. I am wrong on a daily close below this level, but if we can set our risk and then step away for a couple of weeks, I think that's a great risk-reward way of looking for a technical move into a 1272 extension. So that's what I wanted to bring you guys tonight. I've got a lot more to offer. I thought I might do just a couple more, just because it's the holiday season here, and I'll give you a little extra food for thought. But there are a lot of markets that are really starting to turn up in bullish favor. Nvidia has been kind of dull, and for weeks we're a little bit choppy, a little bit weak. I think somewhat difficult to trade. I came into today trying to buy 180. Well, I didn't get my entry at 180, but this had a banner day, right? So I just think we're starting to see more of where this has the potential of being a double bottom. We have a daily squeeze that is setting up in a bullish formation, and I think that could be great into the first quarter of 2026. Then just one more here in Microsoft. And Microsoft is still coiling, right? So I do not want to look at this and tell you, oh, this is a wonderful trend and what a great opportunity to buy the pullback. It's been under pressure for a while, but we do have a fresh daily squeeze, and we have a situation where that rising 5-day exponential moving average is getting ready to cross above the 21. If it can complete that, I think you have a move up into 500, and then we'll make our next round of decisions from there. But I hope that gives you a fair amount of trade ideas to consider as we get into the end of this year. I appreciate you tuning in and following these videos each night. Y'all have a great holiday week. I'll see you in the chat room tomorrow. Hey traders, this is Henry with simplertrading.com. I wanted to thank you for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful, and if so, be sure to click the like and subscribe buttons down below. If you would like to also see me putting these ideas into action and trading my own account live in front of you, be sure to sign up at simplertrading.com, and I hope to see you in the chat room sometime soon.